Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird. Welcome back to my Enigmatica 2 playthrough, Expert Edition here, of the mod pack for Minecraft. So when we left you last time, I had installed this thermoelectric generator grid upstairs and then run power down through here. But basically as soon as I realized that because I was using blocks of uranium for my hot source instead of lava, and that meant that I could put it in a ceiling as opposed to having to support the lava from gravity. I sort of just was itching to try putting it in the ceiling and see what that looked like. So this is the results. I moved it from upstairs. So it was over here. I moved it and worked it into the lighting spacing so that I was able to put lights on either side of it. We got the packed ice, the uranium 92 blocks of uranium. We've got our connectors coming together in a relay, which they then put into a capacitor. And then we split that out into more relays to split that power out over. Right now we've just got the three machines, but eventually we're going to put like several more here probably as we start feeding things in, which is why I've got this setup over here. Now, obviously, it could have been, made a little cleaner, probably, but I sort of like the way this looks. I sort of dig it. So, yeah, that's what I came up with, and it's going to be groovy for now. So we've got power, 5,000 of 5,000, 3,300, 4,000. We got power to those machines, and the next thing I think we wanted to do was I'm going to dig around and see what it's going to take to get us to some sort of charge pad or energizer, something that will energize things, either armor that can take a charge, or a laser gun from Tinker's Construct, or a scanner, or things like that. So I'm going to take a look and see what we need to do to get to something like that. Now that we got a decent source of, tier 1 power going, I really want to start working on some more powered stuff. And the other thing, of course, we wanted to do, as I mentioned last time, is I'm getting sick of using poor old Pressy here, our small plate presser. So I'm going to try and make a crusher this episode. So I'm going to dig through things, get some recipes ready, gather some components, make a plan, and I'll be right back. Jump cut. And I am back. The first bit of happy news is that I quickly remembered that we had everything we needed to make a crusher. We knew we were going to be needing machine blocks, so when we unlocked the extra additions thing, we went ahead and used this recipe, and we made 2 of it. We doubled it up using the forestry stuff that we just plugged in down the road over there. And so we already got 6 of those bad boys on hold. And of course, we've been stealing pistons from villages since, day 1. So we're all ready to go here. And our days of manually crushing ore with the small plate presser are over. So we're going to plug that bad boy right in here. I'm going to shift click and put that on there. We're going to connect the wires. And boom, 20,000 power. And I got to try it out. Now the other thing is that this uses grid power, so we so far have 9 things upstairs, 9 solar panels upstairs that we made. Let's take a look at the thing here. We're going to claim this loot chest and take a look at that. Ooh, an advanced computer. I don't know what that is, but it's rare. So let's take a look at what we did. So to get into this one, we had to make some machine blocks. I went ahead and made extras because I knew I would need several of them. And so we now have these complete. Our power needs are sort of taken care of, so I'm not in a real hurry to make more of these generators. I sort of like the generators we got going now. But we will need more GP for more advanced stuff. I've never actually made an angel ring. I know it's extremely popular and it gives you flight. So we're going to want to get to that as soon as we can meet the requirements. We definitely need a resonator because the resonator makes some stuff that we are going to need to use in other mod packs. And so between the resonator and the angel ring and some other stuff that I don't even know about probably yet, we are going to have to make more GP. And for that, when I was playing around with this, you can obtain any of the 3 mills to complete this quest. Lava mill is GP from adjacent lava, fire is from fire, and water mill produces GP from flowing water. I tested these 3 out when I was testing this mod pack to see if this was something I wanted to do, and I like the fire mill the best. You can set up like just a brick of netherrack on fire, slap a bunch of the fire mills on top of it, and it seemed to do a great job. It was putting out more GP than the lava and the flowing water, so either I was doing that a bit wrong, or it's just plain better. So we're going to go ahead and make some of those, and that will get us enough GP to at least, move us down the road a bit. Let's see if we have the things we need to make fire mills. No, so Stoneburnt. This is the stuff that is made in the resonator. You put stone in, you get stone burnt out. So we are going to have to make the resonator first and foremost. Do we have the things for this? Block coal coke. So I do have that. It seems a shame to actually be... I guess that's only 9 pieces. That's fine. Machine block, yeah, we got some of those. Steel plates, can make that. Glass, got it. I can't make the mechanism version of this yet because it requires things that you make in a particular mechanism machine. However, this version, I got the stuff on the outside. Again, I can't make the green one, the mechanism electronic circuit or basic control circuit, but I think I can make the industrial craft one. So that's an iron plate, insulated copper wires. I'll have to look around and see if I have enough rubber or how to get rubber. One of the gates or something gives you some rubber. Trying to remember which one that is. So it's not that. Something around here. Let's take a look at the gates. This one. So the gate to industrial craft, which that rubber and that insulated wire is an industrial craft component. It gives you a bunch of rubber. And the overclocker upgrades are nice. I don't need iron ore. So maybe we try and do this real quick. Can we do this? 4 aluminum plates, we can do that. Large iron plates, we can do that. All right, we got a plan. We're going to open the industrial craft gate here. That's going to be a good one because we do really want to start moving towards getting a macerator and a compressor. The macerator and compressor are a good pair of things to have, and also the advanced alloy is used in a bunch of other mods. So we're going to work on that. And then once we have some of the rubber and etc., we can work on the resonator and the fire mills. So we got a plan. I'm going to round things up, get things crafting, and I will be back after a jump cut. All right, so change of plans. I decided that I didn't want to be too lazy and take rubber reward when I really should just go out and find a few rubber trees. They're not that hard to spot. So I hopped in my glider and glided around a bit, found one tree, and mistook a number of ironwood trees for rubber trees. But while I was flying around, I saw another village. And as my usual thing to do, I checked the little stone building, a little kind of church or temple type building. And this one actually has a peace candle. So the peace candle keeps monsters from spawning in like a 3 chunk radius or so. And since this is the way I roll, I'm taking it. So I'm going to put that upstairs in our fort, and that'll be a nice little addition to our defenses. Splash. So yeah, I'm going to pause a moment and finish looking around here. There's some bees. I'm going to eventually need to get into bees, so I took some bee houses and some bees, and I'm just going to check for the things that I know I normally need. Like there are a couple of crates usually in here that tend to have good, nice stuff in them, and just going to grab the usual stuff. You guys don't need to see me loot another village. Been there, done that. But I did want to show you guys the peace candle, so that is something to watch out for. In theory, I think that's supposed to spawn in 1 out of every 3 villages with that building there, that cobblestone building. In reality, it seems to me it's a bit rarer than that, but anyway, I always peek in and look for it. And yeah, so I'm going to take a look around, grab some of the chests that I know tend to have, nice cyclic stuff in it, or nice, actually additions, components in them. Pick some of that stuff up. And then I'm going to try and find, I've already got 1 rubber tree sapling. I'm going to try and find, another couple rubber tree saplings and get them going. I also grabbed another couple cows in my golden lassos while I was out and about. And then when I have all that stuff rounded up, I will head back and continue making our stuff. Back in a moment. And just a note for those of you who maybe haven't played Minecraft that much and are looking into this, when I'm flying around looking for things, first of all, the rubber trees have a really dark trunk, or a really dark bark, and then they've got this color leaves. But from the air, quite often what I spot is, see, the wood is yellowish. So we take a look at here, they have that really bright yellow wood. So that's how I distinguish them, like that guy and that guy, from things like spruce, which has a dark brown wood, or ironwood, which I think is some more grayish. So basically I fly around and look for things with a dark trunk, and sort of, this sort of forest green. And then the real kicker is the yellowish wood poking out the top. So I got 1, 2, 3 here. I'm thinking that one over there on that hill might be one as well. I, of course, can't see the yellow one, but I'll flap over there on my glider real quick too and grab that. So when I get these few trees, I should have more than enough saplings to get my own rubber farm started, and we'll continue on with our crafting. And I was just going to grab saplings and grow some there, but these do have mature rubber nodes, or whatever you would like to call them, on them. So I probably should. I do have wood, and I do have crafting table on me. So, and this is not something I've showed before, so I may as well just go ahead and make us a tree tap and break some of this out. See, I think all my wood is in the backpack. I have a tendency to hit those wood piles that are in the villages, because you break up those like dozen chests or so, and you get just a lot of free wood. Other than my initial burst of redwood stuff that I did to make charcoal, I really haven't had to go out looking for wood. So these, you right click on them and it shoots resin out, and you can sort of see there's like a little outline there where it is. So in that log, it's like these 2 black lines, these 2 dark lines here that form that O they're not on these other logs. And since I'm going to cut this down anyway and use the wood in an extractor, a latex extractor, I can keep hitting that thing until it disappears. And sometimes you can get more resin out of it. Quite often you'll get a second dose of resin off of it. But once it disappears, I think it disappears for good. But we'll see if we can get a double out of here. So we got one. Nope. And sometimes there's another one up in the bushes or up in the leaves. But there, I think we just got another sapling. Yep, we're up to 3 saplings. Let's look at this one real quick. Sometimes it's easier to just take all the leaves off of it. So there's our thing. We got 1, 2. And was that the only mature rubber node on there? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and just collect all the wood from these. We are not too far away from making a latex extractor or whatever you call it. So pretty soon we can put those logs down from I think it's industrial foregoing or whatever it is, and start making plastic, which acts the same as rubber in a lot of different recipes. Pick up my crafting table before I walk off and forget it. So there you have rubber collection. And if we fly over here, whoa, overshot it. But yeah, I think this is another one. I didn't get a look at the top log to see if it was yellow, but yeah, I can tell what they look like from far enough away. And do I want to make oh sure, we'll make another one of these. One of the reasons I don't like doing it the normal way is that those tree taps don't have a lot of life on them. So I end up burning through a lot of tree taps. But you know, whatever. This is probably the only time. This is probably the only time I will collect rubber in this game, unless there's something I don't know about where I'm going to need a lot more and the plastic won't cut it. Okay, was that it? Yeah, it's dark oak. The leaves were too green. They were too much of a Kelly green. It's getting dark out. I'm going to rest up. I'm now up to 10 rubber tree saplings, so that's plenty. So we do have that thing down there, so I'm going to sleep and go take a look at that and see what that is, and then we will head back. So that looks interesting. What is that up on top? Is that sandstone of some sort? Yeah, it looks like sandstone. We got lots of these. If it were early game and I needed some thread, this would have been a bonanza of thread for me. Or string, I should say. And that looks like it goes down to a dungeon. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to plan ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our cave illuminator. And we are going to head up on the roof. And I could put it anywhere here. It doesn't necessarily need to go on a roof or anything. Not even sure it needs to be open to the sky. But I figure I'll just put it up here somewhere where it's out of the way of any exploding creepers and whatnot. And if you watch the episode where we got this and tried it out, basically what that's going to do is that's going to put lights underground in any place that's dark in a big old radius like this, and light it up. So then we're going to go ahead and make a waypoint on this, and we're going to call it Dungeon. And call it Illuminated. And I'm going to save that for later. The cave illuminator does take time to light things up underneath it, so we're going to let that cook for a while and come back and grab it later. So we'll just leave that for now. And I did notice that. I don't know what those are. That is dirt. I wonder what those yellow things are. Flowers or something? What the heck is this? So we got quartz. Quartz is good. I wouldn't mind having some free quartz. And we got some glowstone. This appears to be just some sort of little shrine thing, some little flavor thing. I don't see any obvious chests or anything. That being said, I'm going to steal some of this because I don't really have much in the way of quartz. That and stealing it allows me to look under it and in it and whatnot to make sure that I'm not missing anything exciting. I'm such a vandal, running around pillaging villages and blowing up artifacts and just generally causing havoc. I blame Zombie Steve. He's a bad influence on me. Alright, there. So we got some free quartz. Was that the yellow things I was seeing? Yes, it was. It must have been those glowstones. Alrighty. Is that the village I was just at? Yes, it is. Okay, we have tons of stuff. So we're going to head back and actually get some work done on crafting and whatnot. And so yeah, off we go. So I'm going to clean out my inventory, and then we're going to get back to doing stuff. I'm going to go plant these rubber trees. I'm going to go release my two new cows into my field and feed them. We're actually getting sort of close to, the magical numbers where we're getting up to a 20-some plus herd, so that's going to be good. Going to run over there and feed them, plant the rubber trees, and then we will come back and continue on making stuff. Be back after a jump cut. All right, the cattle farm's coming along nicely. So yeah, by the time I am able to start harvesting them, I should have plenty of them. So that's looking good. And we're back in the base, and I need to make a bunch of copper, and I am going to use our crusher for the first time. There it goes. Lovely. Gonna keep an eye on the MV capacitor to see if we're sucking stuff out faster. So it's got a pretty big buffer in it itself, so it's up at 20,000. Yeah, so I think we've got plenty of power to keep this thing going without really doing a dent in either its buffer or the capacitor's buffer. I think that will change once we put in some speed upgrades. I was just looking at those, and unfortunately those require a resonator, which is actually what we're trying to make right now. So once we get a resonator, we will turn some gold pressure plates into upgrade bases, and then throw in some more of that stuff, and we'll make you can have a max upgrades of 4 apparently here, so we'll make at least 2 of those to throw into here just to speed this up a bit. But as it stands, we are looking to make that resonator, and we got to make these gray circuits. So what I'm doing here is I'm making copper plates that we can cut up into wires. And then we just picked up some rubber. I went ahead and we got 12 resin, and so I went ahead and cooked that into rubber. Is that going to be enough? I think we're going to need, let's see, we're going to need 2 of them, which means we're going to need 12 of these, which means we're going to need 12 rubber, and we have 12 rubber, so that ought to work out just about right. Otherwise, I'd have to go plant my rubber trees, and we'd have to hit this another time. But for right now, we'll go ahead and make those plates. Can't remember if I still have any iron plates left over. I do, so I got those. I have enough redstone. Glass, and you specifically have to chisel it into a Chinese pattern. And a block of coal coke. That's sort of expensive. I keep thinking block, but it's not that bad. We've got 4 here, but I know we've got more somewhere else. Oh yeah, we've got almost 2 stacks here. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and make that. Steel plates, we're going to need those. So we'll throw those in there and get those cooking along. Let's see, we're going to make copper plates. Should have set this over into my other one and let it roll, but I'm tired this evening, so I'm feeling a little fuzzy-headed. Pardon me if I space out a bit here. So once we get the resonator going, we will be able to make Stoneburnt, and once we can make the Stoneburnt, we can then go on to make whatever else it was that we were after. I think we were after opening up the gates for industrial craft, if I recall correctly. Although the main reason we were going to do that was to get 64 free rubber, and now I've got us a rubber supply, so we don't really need to do that. But we do really want to get Industrial Craft 2 up and running so that we can get a macerator and a compressor, because the compressor in particular is used in a lot of okay, that's overkill. We got plenty of copper plates now. Let's see, so this, that, and that. And I don't have wire cutters. So I need some iron ingots, which I should have some over here. If not, I did dump out a bunch of blocks of iron over here. Let's try this again. So we got our cutter. And we need 12, I believe. Or maybe 24. I've already lost track. We'll start there. I think 12. So 12 of those. We need one more. What were we missing? We're missing an iron plate, so we'll have to make another iron plate because I just used them up making the cutter or whatever it was I used them on. Just throw that in there. Meanwhile, we're going to need the steel plates. I'm going to really enjoy opening up applied energistics. I played with that a little before in the past, and then also a little when I was trying out this mod pack, and just getting everything digitized and getting all of your inventory in one space is just delightful. And then you have basically all the storage that you want to build, so you can make plenty of extras of everything and not worrying about running out of space. So nice. So I might as well fetch my glowstone and lapis while I'm waiting here. Might need to break up. Some of my lapis is still in ore form, so I may need to break some up with my hammer that now has looting on it. So we were short an iron plate, if I recall correctly. And here we go. Let's see, we need that. And we need that. We need another one of those. And now we just need the glass. So I have some glass. And in my junk drawer backpack, I have a chisel. So we're going to chisel that glass into the Chinese pattern. And at long last, we should now be able to make a resonator. Yay! Sorry to make you guys sit through that crafting. You probably didn't need to see all that. So I don't remember if this thing needs power. I don't think it does. I think it just runs on grid power. But one way to check is that I know we're going to need polished stone. Turned into Stoneburnt. That's one of the first things we need here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some stone. Turn it into stone bricks. Turn the stone bricked into polished stone. And now currently my only GP, you'll see the grid power is 0 out of 0, is from those solar cells up on the roof, up in the fort. So with it being night, I have no GP. That's something we're going to take care of now that we can, now that we're sort of broaching our ways into extra utilities here by making some of those fire mills. So now as we do this, I think if you have less than 8 GP, it won't finish the craft. But yeah, there you go. We got some Stoneburnt cooking. And again, I'll probably make some of these speed upgrades, but we actually needed this resonator, something this resonator could do before we could get there. So we're going to let that cook. Meanwhile, over here, look at that. All that pulverized copper is just beautiful because I didn't have to stand there and do it myself. Check my capacitor. As I add machines to this and as I start running machines in parallel, obviously the resonators doesn't need it, but as I start putting things in here, especially the speed upgrades have a tendency to make the power cost considerably more. I'm just going to keep an eye on my MV capacitor, and when it starts going down as I run machines, I'll know it's time to think about expanding my power base. And I might just add another cell of these if I just need a little more power and I'm getting close. I have not forgotten about the plutonium-238 that we got from the from the dragon. Sorry, I'm tired. From the dragon chest. So that is still sitting upstairs, and we've got the steel, which is one of the things we need. We just need to now go out and find a supervein of lithium, boron, magnesium, thorium, whatever it is. We need to go find one of those superveins. And they're usually not that hard to find, so what I might do is I might just, sink like a 1x2 shaft. Just do it like the old school days where we just sort of like head off in a direction. And when you hit a super mine, you know it because there's all sorts of pink and white and black ore everywhere. And like I said, it's not that they're that uncommon. We have the scanner, which would help us find one, but I bet you if I just set off in the 4 different directions from my base, spread out by several bricks in each direction, I would come across one pretty fast. So I might do that. All right, so what were we doing next? I have no idea where we're at time. I'm a little tired, so I'm losing complete track of what we're doing. But let's see. Basic machine casings. We were going to do this as well. So we need aluminum plates, 4 aluminum plates, and these large iron plates are 8 each, so that's 32 iron. So I'm going to have to go ahead and use my new crusher to make some iron as well. I bet you we're close to time, so we have accomplished a few things. We got some rubber and some rubber saplings, which I will go plant. Our cow ranch is coming along. We made the resonator, so we're chunking out some good Stoneburnt now, which we need for a few things. So we accomplished some things here. We got the crusher up and running, which is beautiful. Look at it go. I love it. So I think that's probably good. Of course, we started off by showing that I had moved our power grid to the ceiling instead of from the other floor above. And I'm sort of still happy with that, so that's good. So we're going to call it an episode right here. When we come back, we're going to bust open a few gates on Industrial Craft. We're going to make a few things here, maybe even try to make it all the way to the compressor now that we have power to run it. And we're going to, once we have the compressor, that then opens up a few things that we needed to make, like the Immersive Engineering metal press, which I'm looking forward to. Extra utilities, we made the resonator so we can claim that loot box. See if we get anything good. Honey soy ribs. Pam, you're making me hungry again. And we can make some of these now, some stone drums and whatnot. It required stone burnt before, which is why we haven't ever made any before. But now that we can make stone burnt easily, now stone drums that hold 16 become very easy. And the iron drums I don't think are too bad either. It requires using the stone drum, but then you just throw some iron on top of that, and so that's not too bad of a recipe either. So that'll give us another option besides the portable tanks that we've been using, which hold 32, because the iron ones I think hold, how much is it, like 16 here and like 124 here, something like that. So that's going to be pleasant. We might make a couple of those. We're going to want a couple of those for our cattle farm once we start turning our poor cows into liquid meat and pink slime. It still sort of makes me uncomfortable. Poor cows. But anyway, let's call it an episode. I'm babbling. So thank you for watching if you are watching, and we'll talk to you next time.